Hey Vault Hunters, welcome back. I'm Onions to another legendary boss gear grind. Today we have Origo. Now the special thing about Origo this time around is that he is the big Encore boss of the week, which means that we can spend Iridium to farm him, which also promises us better gear drops and legendaries. Well, I put that to the test. I farmed him 100 times and spent 10,000 Iridium. Well, actually, I spent a little bit more than 10,000 because I had a couple of favorite runs. But we spent about 10,000 Iridium to farm him. Recorded all the loot drops to see does he really drop better loot when he's the Encore. And we calculated the common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary drops with a lot of interesting details regarding Big Encore. So let's get into it. To start farming Origo, we want to go to the map, Terminus Range, the low keys location, and the vault is located right there. And the easiest way to get to the vault is to fast travel to the Heritage Opus safe house, navigate north, and follow the Augur Shrine on the map. That will be the closest entrance point. Now also, I recommend not following the Echo 4 because it expects you to be Houdini and walk through walls. But I digress. Let's go find the vault. Once you spawn at the Opus, jump out the windows right in front of you and go directly left up this road, and then you can deploy your car. Once you deploy the car, just follow this path, take a slight right onto a bridge over some water, and then continue going forward. Once you get far enough, you'll reach a guy that is desperately begging for help. You can probably safely ignore him. I think he's pretending. He's been there for basically months at this point, and he still seems to be fine. I check on him once in a while. There he goes, just chilling there. He seems fine. Ignore him. Just turn around, and right there is the vault entrance. Of course, the Echo 4 location guide is broken, so this is why I had to point out how to get there. So just proceed forward, and you know the drill. You'll get to the vault, you'll enter your key if you have collected all 3 pieces, the vault will spawn, and of course, you just jump right in, clear out the enemies at each stage. It's exactly the same process for every Guardian, and then proceed to farm Origo. Farming a Vault Guardian on Big Encore took a lot of effort, but after doing 100 total runs, we got 1,496 total loot drops, with 39 of them being white, 372 being green, 478 being blue, 429 purple, and a whopping 178 total legendaries in 100 runs. This is an increase of about 10 times the amount you get from farming any regular mob in the game. This is a tremendous amount of legendaries, and even with all of those legendaries, I was unable to secure myself a What's for Dinner with 150% amp damage. Nonsense. But either way, it was totally worth farming him. The amount of legendaries are basically guaranteed per run. Out of 100 runs, we got 89 total runs that had a legendary drop. And oh, look, a shiny Phosphine. Out of the 178 legendary drops, 99 of them were specifically class mods. So we got 27 Kindred Spirits for the Siren, 24 Drivers for the Gravitar, 25 Busters for the Exo Soldier, and 23 Shutterwights for the Forge Knight class. It seems like the bias that used to exist with class mods dropping for opposite classes than the one you're farming with is gone, or at least with Big Encore it is, because you can see that the distribution of drops between each of the 4 class mods is fairly level, with actually Vex, the class that I was farming with, got a little bit more favorable amount of drops. We increased that by 2 compared to the Buster, which is not related to Vex. Also, besides the class mods, you get 3 items in the game. First, you get the Kaoson SMG. It says granted, and the special effect is that it has 2 manufacturer parts. One is Atlas, one is Torg, and of course it shoots 2 stickies per shot, and they each deal 3 damage stacking for each sticky that goes off. So basically you get double the effect. If you shoot 2 stickies, you get 6%. And then we have the Bottled Lightning. It's a heavy gun ordnance. Basically this one says strike twice. It shoots an orb that flies very slowly across the battlefield, and if there's mobs nearby, it will zap them, and then of course if the orbs hits one of the mobs, it will do extra damage. Now the main thing that everybody's farming Origo for is the What's for Dinner. I am not 100% sure, but I believe What's for Dinner is the one and only shield that actually has the ability to give you amp that is 150% gun damage and a secondary trait on top of that. In my case, I got Absorb, which is honestly not very useful to me at all. I also got this Vagabond one, but without the amp damage, and I also got the Siphon one, also without amp damage. And lastly, this is just a selection of shields I thought were good. This Brimming one, as you can see, the amp damage, I only have a maximum of 100% gun damage, but people are saying that you can get 150. They might be liars. They might be telling the truth. I don't think I can get the 150. I think I'm done farming Origo, especially on Big Encore. It was such a pain. I got 31 total drops of What's for Dinner. And that's basically all there is for the legendary loot from Origo. Now let's get into the little bit of the demonstration I like to do at the end of the video, where I show you all the gear in play. So I'm going to start off demonstrating the legendary SMG. As I said before, it shoots 2 projectiles. You can see them right there, and then they will explode when you reload. They are quite passive. They don't do a ton of damage. I'm going to shoot this minion with a full magazine, and we'll see what the raw damage output is, and it's going to be all criticals. So on criticals, you get about 88,000 damage on a full magazine. So it's quite strong as a baseline, and keep in mind I don't have any skill points or any specializations applied, as I'm in the process of calculating the damage numbers and putting in together a formula. I'm pretty close to narrowing down how the kinetic damage in this game works, and so basically regular gun damage plus kinetic damage. My formula works flawlessly for any type of enhancement. What is that thing doing? Anyway, back to it. Let's talk about the ordnance. It shoots a lightning orb that will pass through the air, and it will attack anything in its way, and it will also explode and do splash damage. Let's take a look at the actual splash damage that it does. I need to enhance the cooldown really quickly for the ordnance, since it takes forever to reset. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit the target directly. Let's see how much damage it'll do. 18,000. Not very powerful, but it is very high base damage based on the item card. 11,000 damage per second. So basically, it does double of what the actual damage is. And then, of course, the shield is working passively in the background. You can see that if I shoot this dummy right now, some of it will drain, and it will boost the base damage of the gun by a bit. And then it will also... I don't believe it translates to the raw damage of a single shot. So this did 3,767, and if we unequip the shield, I assume that it will do a total of less than 3,000. Yeah. So the amp damage boost actually does apply to the projectiles after they explode. So that's a very interesting observation we just made. Good for everybody to know. Let's just test that one more time. I think it should be verifiable. I just applied damage there for no reason. Okay, and we're gonna shoot it again. So the base damage was like 2,000, but this is gonna be almost double now. Yeah, it basically doubles with the amp shield. So every first shot, amped, and give extra bonus. And that's basically it for the items. I hope you enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you learned anything new, or you just enjoyed the farming and seeing a phosphine drop. And I'll see you on the next one. Happy hunting, Vault Hunters.